Never back up. Nigga, if you punch, boom, 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 then move. The last, whatever punch is, the last one you move on that side.
Babe, what do you think about me fighting Mike?
I think you're gonna win. But he's the competitor that is like the most scary to me.
Yeah, he is.
What if he knocks you out? Like, is that your last fight?
He's not.
But what if?
You tell me. What if Jake gets knocked out?
Would you cry?
Yeah.
Jake Paul is panicking after Mike Tyson released previously unseen footage of his training comeback. The video, which showcases Tyson's impressive physical condition and formidable skills, has sent shockwaves through the boxing community, leaving many, including Paul, in awe and anticipation of what might come next. 1, 2, 3, 4. In the video, Tyson can be seen delivering powerful punches with remarkable speed and precision, reminiscent of his prime years as the undisputed heavyweight champion. His movements are sharp, and his technique appears refined, suggesting that he has been diligently preparing for a return to the ring. The release of this footage has reignited discussions about Tyson's potential comeback and who his next opponent might be.
Sleep, good up. Sleep, and then good up. Ooh! Can you feel that? That's different.
The sight of Tyson in peak condition has reportedly made Paul reconsider his ambitions. Sources close to Paul revealed that he was taken aback by the video and is now re-evaluating his potential matchup with Tyson, understanding the significant challenge that Tyson represents. Tyson's training footage has not only captured Paul's attention, but also that of boxing fans worldwide. Social media platforms have been buzzing with reactions, with many fans expressing their excitement at the prospect of seeing Tyson back in the ring. The legendary boxer's enduring popularity and the evident intensity of his training sessions have heightened expectations for his comeback. Mike Tyson is going to return to the ring for a professional bout for the first time since 2005. In the opposite corner stands the audacious YouTuber-turned-boxer Jake Paul. He has temporarily shelved his ambition for a conventional boxing career to engage in this high-profile match, which is being broadcast live on Netflix. The boxing community has voiced strong opposition to the match, highlighting the 30-year age difference between the fighters, despite Tyson's legendary accomplishments far surpassing anything Paul has achieved. Teddy Atlas, who helped train a young Tyson alongside Cus D'Amato for a time, mentioned on his podcast that the 58-year-old still poses a significant danger. He said, "You better be aware, knowing Tyson the way I do. Power doesn't disappear when you're old. He's still got speed and combinations. He's still got that style that he was taught to make you miss and create openings for that power. He still has that, where he can weave, slip, create the openings to unload a bomb on your chin and get you out of there." The bout, which will last 8 2-minute rounds, will, in Atlas's opinion, put Paul in grave risk if there isn't a prior agreement or funny business. Atlas said, "No agreements, no funny business. This is a dangerous, risky fight for Paul. I give him credit, especially early. Tyson's gonna come out there and, if you do have an agreement with him, good luck, because I know Tyson. When that bell rings, he might have a short memory about any agreement other than the agreement to put hands on your chin." Boxing journalist Radio Raheem advised against a fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson during his guest appearance on an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast. Raheem emphasized that a victory for Paul over an aging Tyson would be an unforgivable outcome. Conversely, Raheem believed that being defeated by an aging Mike Tyson would greatly undermine Paul's reputation as a professional boxer. Therefore, the boxing journalist argued that they should avoid the match altogether. The July 20th battle between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul had to be postponed due to Iron's medical problem. Instead, Paul will now face Mike Perry on that day. Raheem had long before expressed his disgust about the altercation. Raheem expressed his opinion that a fight between Jake and Mike would be a terrible idea. He explained that if Jake were to beat Mike, people would hate him and he would be shunned from society. On the other hand, if Mike Tyson were to destroy Jake, it would ruin Jake's reputation as a cash cow.
Him forever.
Like
if you
if he KO'd Mike Tyson,
the guy would be he would be shunned from society.
People
for
need to
giving
know
us that.
how bad people hated Larry Holmes after he beat Muhammad Ali.
Exactly.
People hated him.
Yeah.
And Larry Holmes is one of the most underrated heavyweight champions that's ever lived.
Ever.
Because people didn't love him because he came after the most beloved heavyweight ever.
That is exactly right. And to take a guy like Mike Tyson out of retirement, who we all love, and the only reason we want to see him in the ring again is because we want to see some glimpse of the old Tyson.
Right.
And if you make him look like an old man or you hurt him in front of us,
The fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has been postponed to November 15th. Despite this, both fans and experts have expressed their disapproval, primarily due to the significant age gap between the two fighters. Paul, currently at the peak of his physical abilities at the age of 27, contrasts sharply with Tyson, who has just celebrated his 58th birthday. Despite Tyson's legendary status as one of the most infamous fighters in history, his prime years are well behind him. Fans are worried about the potential health risks associated with him participating in a boxing match at this stage in his life.
Yeah.
A
I think
terrible idea.
You would realize when you see him warming up across the ring, like that's still Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Even though he's 55, that's still Mike Tyson. When the bell rings and you see him shuffling for you and bobbling and weaving, you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There might be a moment of reality there.
I bet he can beat 30-year-old Mike Tyson for about 45 seconds. That's all he needs.
The problem with that fight is that, first of all, if he does beat Mike Tyson, we're going to hate him forever.
Joe Rogan questioned the appropriateness of sanctioning a bout between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Despite his reservations, he acknowledged that even a fraction of Tyson's former physical power would make him a formidable opponent. Rogan said that if Mike is physically capable of recapturing 70% of his former abilities, dealing with even 90% of that power would be a problem for Paul. Kevin Durant, the NBA star from the Phoenix Suns, recently shared his thoughts on the anticipated Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight. During an appearance on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast, Durant described boxing as a young man's sport. At 35 years old, Durant's remarks strongly hinted at his belief in the likely winner of the upcoming bout, while Durant chose not to comment on the Paul versus Tyson fight. Numerous other combat sports personalities criticized the problem child for selecting a retired boxing legend like Tyson as his opponent. This backlash is quite predictable, given the significant 30-year age difference between them. Phoenix Suns star is well aware of Tyson's prowess in the ring. However, he acknowledges that at 58, Kid Dynamite is no longer as formidable as he once was. Consequently, Durant suggested that Paul is likely to come out on top in their fight set for November 15th. He said, "It's a young man's sport, man. Paul has been training for a long time." Durant's perspective resonates beyond boxing, applying universally. No one remains impervious to the impacts of aging, which inevitably diminish one's capacities. Tyson's fate seems sealed in this regard. After all, he's just as mortal as the rest of us. But should the 27-year-old Ohio native underestimate the baddest man on the planet because of age, it could prove a costly error. Tyson's knockout triumphs over Trevor Berbick, Larry Holmes, and a host of other renowned boxers stand as testament to the sheer force packed into his punches. The lethal combination of his right hook and uppercut has consistently extinguished the hopes of many challengers, sending them crashing to the canvas. Yet, it's evident that age has tempered the superhuman power he once wielded, as seen in his bout against Paul. Even with just 50% of Tyson's former punching power, it could still inflict significant damage on the problem child. At 58, Kid Dynamite enters the ring with a diminished stamina compared to his prime, likely opting for precision over volume in his strategy. Paul will undoubtedly face a precarious situation if Tyson succeeds in landing 4 to 5 of his strikes cleanly. Therefore, despite Durant's prediction aligning with the most probable outcome, there remains a significant chance of a major upset awaiting him on November 15th. Patrick Mahomes revealed a shocking analysis on the Wriggles Picks show that has fight fans giddy. Mahomes declared, "This is what my analysis is. If it goes longer than 2 rounds, it's going to be Jake Paul. But if Tyson hits, that's still a powerful punch." It's as if he's reading the defense, only he's reading Iron Mike's signature left hook rather than linebackers. Nakisa Badarian, co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, revealed to Ariel Helwani during the MMA Hour that Tyson has made a remarkable comeback in his fighting form. As the eagerly anticipated fight night looms closer, the boxing community finds itself deeply divided, torn between 2 shining stars. Yet, amidst this debate, Badarian makes a compelling case. What some perceive as a potential disadvantage, Tyson's age, might just be the bout's unexpected ace up its sleeve. Badarian explained, "If Mike were in his early 30s, given Jake's experience, there's no sense to the fact. The age is the equalizing factor. Jake Paul, never one to pull punches, is swinging back at the critics. Tell Mike Tyson that, because he does not give a shit what anyone thinks," Paul told TMZ Sports TV. He added, "First and foremost, I wanted to make sure that Mike was healthy. You would expect a seasoned pro to display such respect. Paul, though, is refusing to back down from the task. He's Mike Tyson at the end end of the day. He has lethal knockout power and is very, very experienced. I think it is going to be a brawl regardless, Paul stated. It appears as though he is preparing for the most important game of his life, and in many respects, that may be the case. For his part, Mahomes stated unequivocally that he has no plans to enter the ring anytime soon. Mahomes swiftly answered, "There's zero price on me to get in the ring with Tyson," in response to Rob's question regarding the cost to get him in the ring with Tyson. It appears that the quarterback for the Chiefs knows when to give up before the fight even gets started. As the anticipation builds towards fight night, the boxing community finds itself divided, reminiscent of a referee deliberating a split decision. According to BetMGM, Jake Paul stands as the favored contender at -150, while Tyson emerges as the underdog with odds set at +170. Yet, let's not forget, Tyson has been defying expectations long before Paul even stepped into the ring. This isn't your run-of-the-mill match. It's a Netflix extravaganza set to captivate audiences worldwide. With 8 brisk rounds lasting 2 minutes each, clad in 14-ounce gloves, and boasting enough star power to illuminate Jerry World. Ever the showman, Jake Paul isn't afraid to express his goals. "I believe in 2025, I will most likely be world champion," he said to ESPN's Andreas Hale. Brazen remarks from a man who will soon take on a man who was defeating pros when Paul was still in diapers. Tyson's absence from professional fighting dates back to his defeat by Kevin McBride in 2005. His most recent public bout occurred in November 2020, a split-draw exhibition against Roy Jones Jr. But as Mahomes pointed out, that's still a powerful punch. As the curtain falls, this showdown transcends mere physical combat. It's a clash of epics. With November 15th approaching, one certainty looms large. Whether it concludes swiftly with a first-round knockout or stretches across rounds, this match is destined for the annals of history. Patrick Mahomes has charted our course, and now we await the unfolding saga. Jake Paul formally announced a timeline for his quest for a world championship. In a conversation with ESPN's Andreas Hale, Paul confidently announced his plan to pursue a championship in boxing next year. This declaration comes on the heels of his highly anticipated match against the iconic heavyweight Mike Tyson. Paul said, "It's not even about the path. I think I'm ready for it in the next couple of months here, and I'm most likely going to go for it in 2025. Paul, known for his cruiserweight prowess, is set to square off against bare-knuckle fight championship standout Mike Perry on July 20th. Tyson's withdrawal from the bout, citing a medical concern, led to its postponement. Despite being only 27 years old, he's garnered considerable criticism for his choice of opponents early in his career. Nevertheless, boasting a 9-1 record with 6 wins by knockout, Paul argues that many fans underestimate his true abilities due to his bouts ending swiftly. "It's really just my God-given ability and my willpower to do this. People haven't even seen me fight in the past year because of 2 first-round knockouts," he said. Though it remains to be seen how Paul performs in the face of more formidable opposition, it is obvious that he is focused on earning a title. Jake Paul is diving headfirst into a high-stakes challenge, soon by facing Mike Perry, just weeks before his anticipated bout with Mike Tyson. Rather than idly waiting for Tyson to recover, the younger Paul sibling is determined to stay in the action. Yet, Platinum Perry has his sights set on snagging the Tyson fight for himself. Mike Perry has stated in an interview with the MMA Draw that he intends to give Paul multiple losses. Perry responded thoughtfully when questioned about Paul's bout with Tyson and whether he'd consider a similar match, stating that he wouldn't detract from Paul's efforts. Perry thinks that since Paul has earned the right, the public opinion would be different for him, whereas Paul received criticism for battling an old man. He said, "It would be a different fight from me. It would be something I have earned over a long history career that I've had over 30 professional fights. It would be an honor to step in there against Mike and get the bag." Currently, there's no indication that a loss to Perry would scrap the fight with Tyson. Nonetheless, anything short of a decisive victory for Paul could raise doubts about his opponent's selection. When news broke of the Tyson fight delay, several contenders volunteered to face Paul, among them KSI and even his own brother, Logan Paul. Paul's final choice was Perry. Since departing from the UFC, Perry has carved out a remarkably triumphant path as a bare-knuckle fighter. Embracing a sport that thrives on raw aggression and bloodshed, he has redefined himself, embodying the ferocity that defines him, Mike the Platinum Perry. Even though bare-knuckle boxing and mixed martial arts are more comparable than they are, there are still several significant differences, such as the design of the ring and the gloves, which will not favor platinum. For these reasons, supporters have criticized Paul once more for choosing an easy fight and going the easy route. Perry boasts an impressive UFC record of 14 wins and 8 losses, establishing himself as a formidable opponent, especially daunting for someone like Jake Paul, who is relatively inexperienced in professional fighting. However, this doesn't seem to deter the YouTube sensation, who previously faced former fighter Tommy Fury. Though he didn't emerge victorious, he did manage to hold his own for a significant duration. On the flip side, Perry exudes confidence in his ability to knock out Paul and ride the crest of his recent successes. Paul, infrequently seen in heavyweight bouts except for his clash with Fury, typically fights in the cruiserweight category. This weight distinction could play a a pivotal role in their upcoming bout, potentially giving Perry an edge from the outset. Perry said, "I'm going to hit him, and he's not going to like it. I'm going to chase him around the ring. I'm going to make him tired and keep that pressure on him. In training, it's not about what he does. I don't watch tape. I really don't. Maybe my people do, but if I watched anything, it would be highlights from the Tommy Fury fight." Perry did not hesitate when addressing Paul's fight with Fury. He said it was a close fight, but Tommy beat him. Perry noted that Tommy's defense seemed a little amateurish, as he got hit a few times but took the punches well. Perry expressed, "I believe I will take them even better and land better shots back. Tommy boxed him, he backed up and moved. We'll see. Depending on my speed and footwork on the night, I'm looking to come forward, cut angles, get to the side and punch him straight down the pipe. It's about what I do, not what he does." Despite the delay of his bout with Mike Tyson to November 15th, Jake Paul remains confident that facing Perry won't disrupt his plans. In fact, he views Perry as the ideal opponent to prepare for what he dubs Iron Mike. Interestingly, Paul goes as far as acknowledging Perry's knockout abilities, praising his skills. He's a proven knockout artist who is shown to be a maniac in and out of the ring. "This is the perfect experience for me to gain in advance of facing Mike Tyson. As I prepare for my fight against Iron Mike, there's no better opponent for me than Mike Perry." Paul's words towards Perry weren't all respectful. He's well aware of his role as a provocateur and exploits it to his advantage. Mockery, deeply intertwined with the mental and psychological aspects of combat sports, often leads fighters to exchange disrespectful and intimidating messages. Jake said, "Those who know me know I'm a risk taker, and while Platinum Perry might try to end me, I'm Titanium Jake Paul and I fear no man. I'm going to get the win and give everyone a preview of what I'm bringing to the ring against Mike Tyson. I return to Tampa and send Perry the Platypus back to bare knuckle for good." During a joint video conference on the MMA Hour, Jake Paul and Mike Perry wasted no time igniting a verbal feud. Perry is eager to see what Paul has in store for him, though. He said, "I know Mike Tyson says everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, but I like getting punched in my face, so my plan is coming together nicely." Paul couldn't help but chuckle at that comment, particularly the bit about loving getting pounded in the face. He doesn't think that's what professional boxing is truly all about. Paul fired back, "That's because you're an idiot. What makes me good at fighting is I don't like getting punched in the face and I practice not to. That's what I'm going to teach you in the sport of boxing. This is not bare knuckle. Not a bunch of old MMA fighters just running around punching each other bare knuckle like hooligans. I'll show you a real sport." Several years after their initial sparring match, Paul and Perry's fight occurred. It all began when Paul, gearing up for an upcoming bout, invited the King of Violence to spar a few rounds in the ring. Though Paul was still in the early stages of his boxing career at the time, he frequently cited that session as a means of gaining confidence in his ability to fight professionally. Paul said, "I was still just learning boxing, probably in my second year of boxing. Worked him all 5 rounds when I was at the gym, and now it's going to be even crazier July 20th. That's why I know I'm going to be able to knock him out because I'm just a completely different fighter." Paul further added, "I already beat his ass sparring and made him my son, and he's even admitting that. He's saying he has a plan, but we don't believe it. We just don't believe it. And on July 20th, I'm going to show the world the sparring session live." Due to health issues, Mike Tyson faced a setback in preparing for his bout with Jake Paul scheduled for July. However, this obstacle didn't halt plans entirely. A new date has been arranged with the involvement of both fighters and Netflix, the promoter and broadcaster of the event. Tyson recently said, "Although we had to postpone the fight, I will resume training shortly. I am grateful to the medical staff that treated me. Even though we have a new date, the outcome will be the same no matter when we fight. Jake Paul will be knocked out." Co-founder of Most Valuable Promotions, Nakisa Badarian expressed gratitude to partners for their cooperation and adaptability. He said, "Our team has worked diligently with all parties involved to reschedule this monumental fight to a date that ensures both Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are fully prepared with the same training time, as well as allowing us to keep the event." Badarian further added, "Tyson is the most intergenerational sporting event in history, and we are committed to bringing fans around the world this unforgettable night of boxing, live worldwide on Netflix. We look forward to seeing you all on Friday the 15th of November for a showdown that will be talked about for generations to come." Jake Paul also commented on the postponement. "My fans know I don't want to face Iron Mike at anything less than his best, but make no mistake, when he steps into the ring with me, I will be ready to claim my victory with a sensational finish. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson will be one for the ages, and I promise to do my best in this once-in-a-lifetime showdown." However, Jake Paul is in a state of panic after Mike Tyson released previously unseen footage of his training comeback. Tyson can be seen delivering powerful punches with remarkable speed and precision. His movements are sharp, and his technique appears refined, suggesting that he has been diligently preparing for a return to the ring.
I know it's simple footwork, but it's how are you moving your feet, Mike?
Just go and look.
Tyson's punches in the footage are notably ferocious, with a blend of speed and power that is rarely seen, even among current top fighters. His iconic uppercuts and devastating hooks are executed with a level of intensity that indicates he is far from past his prime.
So are you just moving them back in?
Move side, back inside. Let go of comes with.
Let me see it. Let me see it a couple times, man. Please.
This is awesome. Jam, sleep through that. Right. Jam, sleep through that. Yeah. Jam, sleep through that.
Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.